Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of I Trek. Hey, we've been talking about UAPs for the longest, but have we already ruled out a zombie apocalypse? Apparently, if it does go down, New York better be watching themselves pretty closely. But we'll take a look at it, along with a lot of other interesting and creepy clips. But before we get into any of that, do me the biggest favor and hit that like button for me, hit that hype button, and subscribe if you're not already part of the iTrack fam. And let's just jump straight into it.
Researchers have rated the best and worst cities in the case of zombie apocalypse. Economic Modeling Specialists International ranked cities on their ability to defend against a zombie attack, stockpiling food, containing zombies, finding a cure. And if you live in New York City, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're toast. The city got the worst rating, followed by Tampa, Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino, California. Southern California really stinks. And Chicago, so the nation's three biggest cities, right? Best place to be? Boston. The city was rated as the place you most likely would survive. Other contenders here: Salt Lake City, Columbus, Ohio, Baltimore, Virginia Beach, and Norfolk, Virginia. But, I just have a problem with this, right? Here I live in New York City, and I will admit that Manhattan may not be the best place to survive a zombie apocalypse. Number one, the food is going to go really fast. Number two, they can climb stairs. And as everyone knows, your buildings go up really high. But think if you live in Brooklyn, also part of New York City, or Staten Island. You could contain the threat to Manhattan and still have lots of farmland to grow food. I think if you live in Brooklyn, you'll be just fine. I'm not a scientist.
As if the taxes weren't enough to make people want to leave New York. Now the zombies are something you got to worry about.
Epstein's financial advisor owned a company called Life Touch, and they were responsible for photographing 25 million K-12 students annually in America. And they had access to your home address because they needed somewhere to send the photos. And they also know where you go to school, and they've got your cute little baby face. There is nothing private anymore. What else do you want security of? You want to know that no one knows where the hell you live. I would hope. I'm not the only one feeling that way. This is my driver, and that's another win for the Amish, because I think homeschooling is the answer at this point.
Jimmy Kimmel's office is in a Freemason lodge. Yeah, do you know that? Jimmy Kimmel Live is taped in the historical Masonic temple. And it says on the thing, Freemason builds its temples among the nations and the hearts of men.
That really bad painter in Germany kicked them out and shut down all the Freemason lodges.
And same with JFK. He said that the very order of secret society is repugnant.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice.
The President of the United States openly comes in and says the world's being run by secret societies. He literally said that before getting shot. You guys should look this speech up if you haven't already heard.
Dude.
I did look up the Hollywood studios, though. They were all 33-degree Masons, MGM.
Yes.
Everyone was created by a 33rd-degree Mason.
I see a bug. Let me get right there. Oh my god. There's like an itty bitty beetle in it. How's an itty bitty beetle doing that? Like it's microscopic. What the frick?
A strange looking creature was spotted in the Philippines, and the internet can't stop talking about it. I At first glance, it looked like some kind of mixture between a gerbil and a dragon. The way it moves, the shape of his face, even the body proportions don't seem right. Witnesses say that it appeared out of nowhere looking confused and lost, almost like it didn't belong there. As people started to record, the creature suddenly took off and jumped toward the tree. Within seconds, it was climbing higher and higher until it just disappeared. No one knows where it came from, and no one has been able to identify what it is. What's making this even more confusing is how unusual it looks like compared to anything around that area. Was it a rare animal, some kind of mutation, or something else entirely? Watch it again and let me know in the comments what you think it is.
It looked kind of like a flying squirrel. I bet you that confusion on his face was more so about why you were in his domain. You know what I mean? You were all in his house.
These data centers that are being built, there's been one being built right now about 2 miles from my house, and massive data center. They're being built all over America, all over the world, and there are already data centers online, but not like we're going to see when quantum AI comes out and you have this massive computing ability where the Antichrist can track all financial, one man with that software or with that, technology. He can control every financial transaction, like in China where they have the social credit system where your behavior is tracked to whether, you're able to travel, whether you're able to buy and sell. That's what the Antichrist is going to be able to do and also to surveil the entire population at the same time, knowing who's got the mark, who doesn't, who's worshiping him, who isn't, and with all the cameras, with all the technology, with AI.
Did you know that the CIA funded and created a company called InQtel, who is known to have funded Facebook, Amazon, Google, and Apple?
New York is a hot spot for all the cool stuff. Interesting sculptures. Have you heard? The best pizza. It seems all the awesome stuff happens in New York, especially underground in the sewers. Who doesn't like New York pizza? Apparently pizza has healing powers. Why wouldn't the Super Bros like pizza? It's part of them. Nothing like exploring the Big Apple's tunnel systems and eating the best pizza in the nation. Have you ever been to New York? If so, what was your favorite part of the big city? Did you eat the pizza, go to a Broadway show, see the Statue of Liberty, cross the Brooklyn Bridge? For the city that never sleeps, there's always so much to do and explore. Is a slice of New York on your travel bucket list?
About God no other time publicly other than a big moment happening, and yet people are worshiping the devil publicly all year long. The whole music video had devil worshiping in it.
In the satanic rituals, it is written that Masonic orders contain the most influential men in government, and virtually every occult order has Masonic roots, and that every rite of the Nazis' Black Order employed Masonic principles. Both Satanism and Masonic rituals involve the goat, the coffin, and the death's head. Anton LaVey wrote that the Masonic rituals serve as a screening process for organized Satanism. Freemasons can also be seen making the 666 hand gesture.
You can't hear or see a radio station. You can't hear it until you tune into it. We have 1 million stations playing right now, and you can't hear them until you tune in. And he says the same thing with Bigfoot. So we have light matter, which is what you can see, and you have the dark matter, which is space. We know that we have life in both. So when your dark matter meets your light matter is where you have the ability to have a dark matter monster. They just live on a different frequency, and you have to be tuned into it.
The most suspicious things Oliver Tree said before dying.
Oliver, when do you leave for tour?
I leave for tour in 1 week. Then I'm gone for good.
I know someone. His family worked against a specific government in Central America. I can't say the specific country, but he was basically a traitor, and the government found out, and they threw his uncle off of a helicopter into a volcano.
One thing that I notice in your music videos is this imagery of you falling to your death. Is there anywhere that comes from? Does that represent anything?
Almost in a way preparing myself for my own death. Kind of like putting myself into those scenarios and kind of living it so that I could kind of experience it and process it so that it's not such a big deal.
Well, this is your whole shtick, is that every album's your last album.
It's not a shtick, man. You never know when it's my last album. I could die any moment. I mean, could have died on the way here.
Kind of experience it and process it so that it's not such a big deal.
Well, this is your whole shtick, is that every album's your last album.
It's not a shtick, man. You never know when it's my last album. I could die any moment. I mean, could have died on the way here.
Nah, see, there's something odd about that. Either he absolutely knew what was coming up, or his spiritual essence was just speaking through him, you know? And that's what we saw in these interviews. Because there was too much of a coincidence there. There was too much going on that lined up with what was happening next.
CIA has been attempting to access genetic data from 23andMe and Ancestry.com, specifically to flag users carrying extraterrestrial DNA. The claim comes from philosopher and novelist Jason Reza Girani. He said he was tipped off by a man named Lynn Buchanan, told him that a former CIA analyst, his name was Christopher Kit Green, had allegedly engineered a backdoor into 23andMe and Ancestry to screen users for a specific genetic variants linked to non-human beings. This is where it gets kind of crazy. Buchanan reportedly learned about this alleged campaign after being approached at a diner by 3 individuals who identified themselves as the Nordics, tall, blonde, blue-eyed beings from another world who were supposedly living among us in small mountain towns in Colorado, passing as Scandinavian. They asked for his help because they were trying to avoid CIA detection. They had apparently been running an intergalactic underground railroad of sorts, fleeing a tyrannical home government and secretly building a half-human family tree on American soil. Tinfoil hats are on for this, but I believe it.
Filming during a museum visit, specifically inside a dinosaur exhibit, something inexplicable appeared to happen. If you watch closely, it genuinely looks like the dinosaur's head shifts position ever so slightly.
For anyone wondering, this is what it's like standing next to a life-size polar bear statue as someone who's 4'11".
Right this second, there's a creepy doomsday device recording our actions, and it's going to outlive us all. It's called Earth's Black Box, and it's going to be right here in Australia. It's an indestructible 10-metre steel monolith that will sit on a mountain range in Tasmania, designed to provide an unbiased account of events should humanity go extinct. The apocalyptic light tool is already scraping the internet. It's continuously collecting data on land and sea temperatures, species extinction, and recording leaders' actions, or inactions, on climate change. With scientists warning a record-breaking hot year is almost certain by 2030, the box offers future civilizations a glimpse into our most critical mistakes, allowing them to avoid the exact same fate. It's easy to dismiss the box as a monument to climate alarmism, but creators say it's really about holding people to account. Construction finishes this year, but the hard drives inside have actually been recording our data since 2021. Is this a brilliant idea or completely unnecessary? Let us know what you think below and head to news.com.
There's an interesting theory stating that Willy Wonka is a PDF file. If you're familiar with the film, there's a scene where the kids and their parents are inside the factory licking flavored wallpaper. Wonka explains that each picture tastes exactly like what it shows. He says the strawberries taste like strawberries, the bananas taste like bananas, and then he says, the snozberries taste like snozberries. Most fans assume snozberries is just a funny made-up word, especially because the movie is full of strange candy, weird inventions, and nonsense humor. But this is where the theory gets dark. Fans point out that Roald Dahl, the author of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory book, used the word snozberry in another one of his books named My Uncle Oswald, where the word has a disturbing meaning. Because of that, some people believe the wallpaper scene was not as innocent as it seemed. In this theory, Wonka was having children lick wallpaper that tasted like poop. Whether it was intentional or just a strange coincidence, it makes the scene feel way darker when you know how the word was used elsewhere. This is why believers of this theory believe that Wonka was not just weird and awkward, but creepy with something sinister hidden under his sleeve.
I'm at Target, and I see a picture of a tattoo in here, right? And I'm like, what is it, the Virgin Mary? No way. And then I zoom.
Now, Bob, I took this 2015 in Oregon. Who was that running through the field right there? And I got more footage, bro. Whatever people told me about, I go out and investigate. So I'm finna show you that never even hit the internet before. You ready for some more?
I'm ready.
So look, you see dude right there?
I see him.
I was scared, and I had a gun. Because whoever that was 3 feet taller than me, and I'm 6'5". I'm like, well, all right, nah. Whoever fool is, and he was carrying a rabbit in his hand. You see that white thing right there?
I see it.
That's a rabbit. I'm like, caught a rabbit?
And you a true 6'5".
Watch this, hold on. This is in the Chinese National Park, this statue. Why does this statue exist? Why does that exist in the Chinese National Park? I'm gonna show you. You put this on this interview, you're going up. It's unreleased.
Let's go. Let's go.
Now this photo is from a lady's trail camera in Oklahoma. I went and stood in the exact same spot, and whoever this is 3 feet taller than me and 2 feet wider than me. Pause. Gotta pause that one on insane. Whew. Watch this.
That's interesting.
Bro, it's a lot of things that take place on this earth, because when I go to the Native American reservations, they tell you exactly what this is. Look at this right there. This is all unreleased, and you got my permission to post it. Because that first photo I took myself. When I seen them running, first thing I do, I'm reaching for the demonstration.
Trying to demonstrate, huh?
The white boy say, stop. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop. But he ain't threatening me. But he got that rabbit and he moving very fast. Now you see that last photo? That's on a trail cam.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Who is that?
She look like King Kong.
Look like
Bigfoot.
King Kong right there, man.
Yeah, that's.
So where would they get the idea for Planet of the Apes? Where would they get the idea of Chewbacca and Star Wars?
Much credibility as Big Homie CC has created for himself over a period of time, I don't know why he would start lying now. And that looks just like what we've all been seeing for decades.
If you thought that Diddy documentary was crazy, wait until they drop a documentary on Clive Davis. So music mogul Clive Davis passed away today at 94 years old. And the internet got a lot to say. First and foremost, let me start off by saying rest in peace, Whitney Houston. Because I know for a fact she's smiling right now. And if y'all don't know why I'm saying that, she died at the Beverly Hilton on the same day as Clive Davis' pre-Grammy party. And of course, we know that they said her death was an accidental drowning. But a lot of people put Clive Davis' name in the mix. Clive Davis was also linked to Diddy. A lot of people saying that Clive Davis taught Diddy everything that he knew. But then you had a lot of people that didn't like Clive Davis because they said he was exploiting black musicians, i.e. Jermaine Jackson and Michael Jackson. You remember when Jermaine Jackson had that song, Word to the Bad? Yeah, that was because of Clive. Needless to say, Clive Davis took a lot of things to the grave with him. They asked question after question about things that happened with Diddy, and he never addressed those things. And let's not forget that Clive was one of the reasons that TLC went broke, because of that bad contract. You gotta remember that TLC broke into that office and held him hostage so they can get out that contract. So trust me when I say a lot of people was unhappy with this man before he passed away. But I'm guessing they couldn't do nothing about it. You got some people saying that Clive was one of the most evil people in the industry. More worse than that other guy with those files. So, like I said, Netflix is about to have a field day with that documentary. Rest in peace, Clive. I'm out.
Anybody else find this to be strange? Clive Davis is unalived at the age of 94. And what if I told you this is another one of their rituals? Because he was a longtime Knicks fan, right? And he's unalived 9 days after they won their first championship in 53 years. And they just so happened to win their first championship in 53 years on June 13th. The 13th. Stay with me, because Clive Davis was 94 years old when he passed away, right? Well, what does 9 plus 4 add up to? Oh yeah, 13. And that's not all. Because he is unalived 79 days after his recent birthday, and 79 just so happens to be the 22nd prime number, and in gematria, Knicks add up to 22, and that's not all with this ritual. Because he was the former head of Columbia Records, right? Well, Columbia Records adds up to 94 in one of the ciphers, and he passed away at the age of 94. And obviously he was also this guy's mentor, Diddy's mentor, among other things. And speaking of Diddy, if you include the end date, it's been exactly 33 weeks from Diddy's recent birthday. And New York also adds up to 33. So, again, it's always by the numbers. Wake up.
Man, you can't tell me that this fat bastard didn't used to have a hook in its nose.
Gentlemen, the most Florida sign you'll ever see in your life. Do not feed or molest the alligators, okay?
Put me down. Put me down. Put me down. Don't eat me. I'm not a good snack. I'm not tasty. Listen to me. No, I'm not. I'm not a good snack. I'm not a good snack. I'm not tasty. I don't taste good. I'm not tasty. I'm not a good snack. I'm not a good snack.
Solamente, naed, nam sele. Ishame vatseme kama. Dispo.
Always settling for the same tasteless snack? That's wrong. Going to Wendy's for a new chicken go wrap, that's right. Made with tender center-cut chicken, cheddar cheese, lettuce, and ranch sauce for only $1.49. Wendy's, that's right.
Just don't be like me, back at you with some kind of insectoid. They found it in the Arizona lakes up in Arizona. So y'all check this out. Nearby people, campers, they came through and they seen this thing, they recorded it. Let's get it.
This man is asking the public a very simple question. He says McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers in a single day, yet he has never seen any massive cow farms, cow rearing centers, or large slaughter facilities where huge numbers of cows are kept and killed to produce all that beef.
So I was curious the other day and found this online. McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers in one single day. That's 195 million burgers a month. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't see cows lined up around every corner waiting to be turned into patties. I mean, seriously, do the math. Even if you stretched one cow into a bunch of burgers, you're still talking millions of cows just to keep up every day. So I started asking myself, where are all these cows coming from? Is there some secret super ranch hidden underground? Are they growing cows in labs, cloning meat behind closed doors? People laugh it off, but think, when was the last time you even saw a cow farm big enough to supply this madness?
These not NHIs look very human. They could walk among us and we may not notice.
Correct. I first noticed the energy of the entity walking in before I even knew who they were or anything. I felt the energy first, and then I looked at what my body was reacting to.
What was that energy like when you encountered this NHI?
My first thought, it was a hybrid, so it was part human, part NHI. I feel like my body kind of got rigid because it didn't know how to react. It didn't know what it was encountering, because that really hasn't happened before in public. It definitely had a very different body shape, body form, like all kinds of, the eyes changed. It was Very interesting. The DC metro area.
Holographic universe. We're in a holographic reality. This is a simulation. You or biological computer chips operating through this simulation. You have to update your information. You have to update your wisdom, your knowledge base. You have to update your knowledge. You have to update your body to keep up with not only society, but keep up with consciousness, because consciousness is forever expanding and growing. And you will get left behind. And you walk out on the streets and you see people left behind every day, all day. You see it. And just not, you don't only see it in conversation, you see it in people clothing, what they wearing. You see it in the way people interact with themselves and other people. You see it in the way people communicate. You see it. You see people get left behind every day because they don't look in the mirror and they don't reevaluate themselves to reinvent yourself. You have to constantly reinvent yourself. Everything in nature does it. Everything have a shedding process in nature. Snakes shed their skin, dogs lose their fur. Everybody go through these reinvention or this cocooning phase in their life multiple times before they die. Even your cells go through it. It's called autophagy. Every 120 days, your erythrocytes, or what you'll call red blood cells, die off and renew themselves. The bones, every bone in your body reconstructs itself every 7 years. Every 4 to 7 years, your hair follicle sheds off and you grow new, thicker follicles and strands. The nervous system, every cell in your body reincarnate or reinvent itself to keep up with society, to keep up with the environment that the biological body is in. Why don't you think you need to do that with your mindset? Because by default, every essence of your body do it. But when it comes to mindset, we just stuck in our ways and we want to stay the same. And all of those people end up lonely and dying alone.
Yet another video from the Appalachia of why you keep your blinds closed. God, these people looking in windows in the Appalachia are insane. That's just utter creepiness. What do you think this is, guys? You think it's real?
So we're not selling the Aqua Bear spray anymore?
Are y'all seeing this, or is it just me?
Yeah, we're seeing it.
So you see it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard something weird and my air blower turned on by itself in my locker.
I just found a thumbtack in my cookie dough. I bit it thinking it was a chocolate chip, and no, it was a thumbtack.
Hey, that's 100% a new fear unlocked.
No shadow, no feet, no silhouette. And yet a set of small pale fingers are curling around the edge of the doorframe like a child peering in.
Where's the cat gone? Thank you, Patricia.
The fingers don't move much. They grip the edge of the wood, delicate, thin, unmistakably human, and just hang there. Then they're gone.
Thank you, Patricia. Sorry, Amber. Jeez.
The following footage was recorded by a man by the name of Chris out of Carlsbad, California. On June 20th, he was just enjoying a day at the beach when he noticed something weird happening with some of the people around him. Mind you, it wasn't everybody, but just different people sporadically down the beach. They stopped what they were doing. Some stood up and looked out towards the ocean, and he thinks they were looking at something specifically. He couldn't see what. But this completely terrified him. He has no idea what happened. These people eventually just went back to what they were doing like nothing happened. Take a look at this footage, comment below, let us know what you think is going on.
At first glance, I thought it was some kind of a meditation session, right? But as it pans, look out into the ocean and then tell me what you see.
So I don't know why everybody's complicating this. I'm a mechanical engineer, and all you need to charge your phone is one of these. If you go to the hardware store and you buy one of these, you can charge your phone with just this. And here's how. Take some wire and hook the screw, and then you're going to tighten this down with a screwdriver. And then you want to bend your wire over and hook the other side, and then tighten that side down as well. Want to mimic this on both sides and make sure that they are diagonally crossed. Test for proof. All right, we are going to try this. So as you see, the phone is charging. You can see the green and the lightning bolt right there. I hope you guys try this out. Thanks.
Hey, stop the cap.
They have technologies that interface with the consciousness field and directed thought, not random thought, what I call coherent thought, as clearly as we pick up a radio frequency from our cell phone or TV station. So those civilizations that are interstellar, they have to, by going faster than the speed of light, they've had to explore trans-dimensional physics, including faster than speed of light communications, which exist, and classified projects have worked on these. But those civilizations have perfected it to a level of really profound accuracy.
Hollywood used to release the exact same movie twice on purpose. Deep Impact and Armageddon, Volcano and Dante's Peak, The Prestige and The Illusionist, White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen. Two studios, same premise, same audience, released months apart. And it goes back further than you think. In 1934, two competing Catherine the Great biopics came out in the same year. Different studios, same queen. Was it legal? Completely. Because copyright doesn't protect ideas, it protects expression. Nobody owns an asteroid is heading towards Earth, or a magician with a dangerous secret, or terrorist attacks the White House. Ideas are free. What you do with them is protected. So why does it barely happen anymore? The law didn't change. The business did. Studios consolidated. They made fewer movies and spend more money on each one. And instead of betting on original concepts, they started buying IP, like Marvel, DC, Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, Barbie, Minecraft. Known brands, known audiences. Because if you own the IP, nobody can release the exact same franchise next month. The modern version of competition isn't two asteroid movies anymore. It's two studios, fighting for the next franchise before anyone can get near it. But now Hollywood is shifting again, because studios aren't just chasing scripts or IP anymore. They're chasing audiences, the ones that the creators already built. YouTubers, influencers, podcasters with millions of subscribers. And some of Hollywood's biggest agencies have started investing directly into creator businesses. Not just representing them, owning pieces of them. Potential conflict of interest? Maybe. Massive shift in how Hollywood finds and controls talent? Absolutely. But there's a lot on that topic, and it's a different realm. Link in the bio if you want to learn more about copyright.
Yup, human hair is not only being found rapidly growing out of reborn dolls, but these dolls are forming heartbeats inside their chest, and they might be starting to wake up now. People were terrified after viral videos showed inanimate dolls starting to grow human hair that did not match anyone the owners knew, with the doll being completely bald when they first bought it, and people are now saying whatever is inside these dolls is trying to come out. Haunting reports show a reborn doll was forcibly removed and taken to the same museum that locked the Annabelle doll away. A doll that was not classified as haunted but as demonic, with people claiming the reborn doll's hair is growing faster than it should and it has not stopped since it has arrived. But it gets darker as some are reporting the reborn dolls started breathing in the middle of the night, with many warning that they might not only be alive, but what is breathing inside was never human.
No, that baby hair was not like that. That baby hair was smooth, clean, bald, and all of a sudden it had little like black specks, like little black ants.
While many believe they were possessed, experts say it's fiber displacement, hair that was already inside slowly pushing through. But that does not explain why the one at the Annabelle Museum still has not stopped.
Okay, so update on this baby, because somebody commented and said the gel and the hairbrushing probably pulled the hair up through the skull. But keep in mind, her hair was like this, okay? There's no way that this much got pulled up. So I'm gonna hold her and I'm gonna pull on her hair. And like, you can see I'm pulling, nothing is coming up any further. I'm gonna pull her hair literally out. There's like quite literally nothing. There's no way. It's literally in. Oh no, y'all.
Pareja grababa paseando por ese lugar cuando de repente aparece esta especie de como ave, pero muy rara, amigos. Nunca se había mirado algo así similar a la manera en la que corre. El perro va tras ella, la manera en la que corre con saltos gigantes, no sé qué será. Deja tu comentario, ¿tú qué piensas que es?
¿Qué es eso?
Ticks are actually disgusting. They do this thing called questing, where he reaches out. See how he's reaching out right now to try and find me. As soon as he picks up on me as a meal, they start chasing me. Full tilt, like I'm a steak dinner.
What's up, people of the internet? Alright, so y'all check this out. Okay, first thing I want to say is I'm sorry to my family. Y'all, I'm sorry, but y'all know I question everything. Okay, this right here is my mother's ashes. Straight out of the box, they have not been taken out since she passed away. Been years. And she was put into a few of these little urns right here. Okay, I was going to make a floater out of this urn, but it is not magnetic. Y'all, I could hear something inside of this thing trying to connect to this magnet. So it got me curious. Y'all, I got her ashes out. Look at the metal inside of her ashes. And y'all, that is just a little. I can go up here. Look at this. Y'all, why is there so much metal inside of my mom's ashes? And somebody's gonna say it was the cremation. Y'all, it is not. Cremation does not break down metal like that. Y'all, what is going on? Is this even ashes? Y'all, that is so weird. I don't even know what to think. There y'all go. I'm sorry to family, like I said, but y'all, something's not right.
She convinced a family she was 12 years old and got adopted, but she's really a serial con artist who's pulled off some genuinely unhinged scams. First, she tricked a pastor of a church into believing she was a young autistic girl named Gabriella who escaped an abusive home. She gained the trust of the congregation and not only received financial assistance, but had a family take her in. She drank milk out of a bottle, used a pacifier, faked night terrors, and spoke in a fake high-pitched voice. She claimed she was forced to take hormones, which affected her physical appearance, and her new family believed it for over a year, even throwing her a birthday party. But that's when a relative thought something was a bit off with Gabriella and did some digging. Turns out this wasn't Gabriella's first rodeo. She's 37 and has done this at least 3 other times, one of which involved her inserting around 100 needles into her own skin to convince a family she was a victim of witchcraft rituals. She even conned a politician into buying and furnishing her an entire apartment and would just flee from state to state every time she got caught.
Who builds a house and do not have a front door? Check this out.
House being built. This is the first house I've ever seen in my life. It doesn't have a front door. There's no front door. You either come in through the garage or you don't go at all. It's so strange.
Bug land on you that was so big it made you jump? Well, one local sure did. A local was having a normal day when a large insect suddenly landed on his hand. Firstly, he thought it was a fly, but when he looked closer, it was a bee. But this wasn't an ordinary bee. This bee was big and dark brownish. This super-sized buzzer was Wallace's giant bee, famous for making yummy black honey. The local couldn't believe his eyes. This bee was so rare that people thought it had disappeared forever.
Jessica Alba, the movie star, is a witch, and I had no idea about this. And you can see here below, they've got the crystals, the zodiac stuff, the tarot cards, the spells, the sage, all of the things. And here's a video of her explaining what she's doing.
So it's Lionsgate. It's also 888 in numerology, 2024. So that's an 8, 8, and 8. And it's Lionsgate, so it's a very auspicious time. And we did ceremony here. And Jill, aka the spirit daughter, led us in a beautiful ceremony. We're manifesting all of the things. And channeling all of that, like beautiful light, power, alignment, right?
Abundance in all forms.
Abundance in all forms, in all the ways that abundance can show up, with like abundance in unconditional love, abundance in joy, abundance in ease and grace.
She ends the video saying that she's manifesting peace, joy, abundance, and grace. You have to think to yourself, why are all of these celebrities promoting witchcraft?
Now, Jessica Alba is a legit billionaire, but she made it off of a wholesome product. I mean, her whole brand is based around moving impurities out of baby products. So I don't know. I don't see too much going on there. You might have been reaching just a little bit.
Oh my God, look up in the sky.
Whoa.
I don't see it. I'm on the front porch. Hey, look toward
Oh my God, that is strange.
Look, east. Look east.
Wow, wow, wow.
Incredible. Yeah. Unbelievable. Do you see it, Mom? No. You're kidding me. I'm on Marietta, facing Newport Road, and I'm staring right at it. Oh my God!
Alright guys, let's talk about the GATE program and why I don't really talk about it. The number one reason, folks, is I was an art kid, not a smart kid. You know, so there's tons of other creators out there that talk about these programs and we're actually in them. But gifted and talented was not exactly something I was in. But I don't know if y'all knew this, but you could take art all the way through high school. There's an art 4 at the end. You know, the only thing that I was pulled out of class for back in the day was speech therapy because I couldn't say shit. And the funny thing about that is there's still words that I don't use because I can't say them right. So I definitely wasn't in gifted and talented. You know, but I personally do believe it wasn't just for education. It was to identify children with unusual high intelligence, pattern recognition, creativity, and psychological traits that they could use later. And what I mean by use later is the 3-letter agencies, military intelligence, or just secret government research projects in general. You know, and there is real historical evidence that government programs were made to study intelligence and behavior and psychic phenomenon during the Cold War era, so why wasn't it happening in the 80s and 90s too? You know, and kids claim that they were pulled from class for unusual activities and abstract thinking exercises or just one-on-one evaluations that felt secretive, like they shouldn't have been there. Well, I guess I was pulled out of class back in the day for scoliosis tests too, not just speech therapy.
Here's a reminder that poison ivy often looks like branches on a tree. These leaves here are poison ivy, and look how they come out. That vine goes straight up and then it just branches out. Know that they will vine and then grow long branches just off of a tree. Poison ivy leaves can look like all different kinds of leaves too, slightly different shapes here and there, sizes. Stay safe and hope this didn't make you feel itchy.
The statues here have even the eye socket carved.
Oh, like this is not ready?
None of the statues here.
Okay.
The eye socket was carved just when they were upright on the platform, and just then they put the eye.
Oh. Oh, look at that. Trying to shelter my microphone from the wind. Look at that. Like that's 10 feet above ground. Buried up to his neck. This is about as close as we get to one. Right here.
So I work at a psych ward, and one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me today. So I get there in the morning, 6 o'clock, and I see this paper, this drawing on the desk. Okay? I'm like, what is this? The other techs were like, one of the patients drew you. Okay, cool. So I go around talking to the patients throughout the day. I figure out what patient drew this. And I ask her, I'm like, did you draw me? And she's like, no, I was just drawing, but everybody said it looked like you, so we put it on your desk. Okay, we go on throughout the day. The patient ends up getting discharged. She had already been there for a while. And later on in the day, 2 other patients end up getting into a fight. They end up physically fist fighting each other. And there was nobody else around, just me. So I get into the middle of it and I'm trying to separate them. I'm trying to break them up. While doing that, I end up getting punched in the face. And I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I do this shit. Anyways, I end up getting punched in the face. And so for a majority of the day, I'm sitting there like this. Tell me this patient didn't predict me getting my shit rocked today. Tell me that's not fucking insane.
Definitely more than just a little creepy. But the real lesson here is she should have been doing more bobbing and weaving. Well, you guys see, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for always stopping by, watching, and learning with me. If you haven't already, do me the biggest favor and hit that like button for me. Hit that hype button and subscribe if you're not a part of the iTrack fam. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.